Hey guys, so I had a few people request to have a video of how I do my everyday makeup. So let's get started. So just so you know, I've already washed my face and put on some moisturizer. And if you see me looking away, it's because my mirror is on this side. So the next step is to do primer. Primer is so important. Like, I really can't stress it enough. It helps your foundation go on smoother, and if you have oily skin, this is so important. It helps your makeup last all day. I don't have oily skin, so I don't really have the problem of my makeup disappearing as the day goes through, but I know people with oily skin, their makeup can kind of just like disappear on their face. So this is really important for that. You just want to rub it on your face. Make sure you put like an even coat. Stuff feels so good. Okay. Now the next step is the Liquid Touch Foundation. I'm in the color Scarlet. It's our lightest shade because I'm so pale. And what you do is shake it up before you use it. And as you can see, I have blemishes galore. See, I've got stuff over my chin. I got a fresh one over here. Yeah, it's just not my favorite. And then I don't know if you can see that, but like 5 drops. Sorry, my mirror is like over here. So as you can see, it covered everything on my chin, but not that one. So we're gonna go with the Liquid Touch Concealer. This stuff is amazing. I usually put it on before my foundation, but I forgot. So it still works afterwards. It's okay. So I take one of our blending buds and I just smooth it out. Okay, now my dark circles are not that bad, but I still like to conceal them. So we're going to go in with the Liquid Touch Concealer one more time. I don't know if I told you this, but I'm also in the color Scarlet. I'm super pale. And then I just take some on my ring finger. You want to use your ring finger because it is the finger that has the lightest amount of pressure. When you're dealing with your under eye, you really don't want a whole lot of pressure under there. Okay, So I just dab it on in a triangle, because when you just do a crescent shape, that actually just accentuates your dark circles. It actually doesn't make them any better. So you want to do it in a triangle. And I suggest, if you're going to do this, doing at least one shade lighter than your normal skin tone, or 2 shades if you can. Unfortunately, this is our lightest shade, so I can't really do that, but it still works. It's okay. And then I just take our blending bud and blend it out in a dabbing motion. You don't want to sweep, because then you're just taking it off. It just makes you look more awake, because I know I'm always tired. So the foundation is actually a liquid to powder foundation, so you don't actually have to set it. However, I would suggest setting the under eyes if you're going to use the concealer, just in case. I've never had it crease on me, but yeah, I don't know. I just like to set it anyway. So I just use, we have powder foundation. I just lightly like to sweep it across where I put my under eye concealer. So at first, when you do that, you want to dab it on, because you don't want to be moving the product. But once you get it all over your face, when you dab it on, all over where you just put your concealer, that's when you want to just sweep it to make sure you don't have any like large patches of powder just sitting on your face. So my next step would usually be to go ahead and do my bronzer. So I know bronzer is something that people don't do on a daily basis, but I do, because I'm so pale. If I don't put bronzer on, I mean, I look like a ghost. It's really scary. So we're gonna go ahead and start with bronzer. So I use our Beachfront bronzer in the color Sunset. If you are super pale like me, this is the color you need. I just swirl it around on my brush, and then the way that you do bronzer is like we did our under eyes. You highlight what you want to bring forward, and you bronze or contour what you want to bring back. So if you're not for the huge contour look, I suggest just bronzing up your face. So you want to put it in the hollow of your cheek down this way, underneath your chin, and then on your forehead. And then you can do your nose. I don't like to do my nose, but that's up to you. So, and the whole thing with this is blend, blend, blend. Looks kind of funny. So when you do your forehead, you want to do your temples. So you want to do it like this, down to your eyebrow, and on your temples, and then down the sides. And then sweep it across your hairline. Don't want to do it like all over your forehead. Just sweep it across your hairline. And then for your jawline, you just want to make a line like that, and then just take it down. Basically, it just helps hide anything down here that you don't like. Do a little bit more. And if you use this shade and you're the palest we have, or the second palest close to that, the good news is that as long as you don't, it's really hard to apply too much is really what I mean. And it blends super easily, so you don't have to be scared with it. So let's see. I'm actually going to do a little bit more on my cheeks. Okay, and so this is completely optional, but I like to do a little bit underneath my chin, or I mean my lip. Just helps it like look fuller. So there's a trick for you. If you put a little bit of bronzer underneath your bottom lip, it just helps it look a little bit fuller. Diet Coke, sorry. Okay, now for blush. Now, how you apply this completely depends on your face shape. So if you have a round face like me, you're going to do it this way. Basically, you just get some on your brush. I tap it like on the apples of my cheeks, and then I sweep it back. If blush is something you skip, don't. It just brings your whole face forward. I really know how to explain it. If you're going to do the whole contouring, bronzer, highlighter, don't skip the blush. Just don't. It brings your whole face together. It makes you look alive. You really don't be looking like you're dead. So don't skip the blush. I'm just saying. So the next step, so I'm done with my face. So I'm already done I've done my foundation, bronzer, concealer, and blush. So done with my face. So my next step would usually be to do my eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows. Eyebrows are so important to me. Like if you're going to, if you're even going to mess with your whole face, why not just do your eyebrows? Like it's not that hard. I love our eyebrow pencil. It comes with this little spoolie on the end so you can like really brush your hairs up and get them in place. And it's so like, I don't really know how to explain it. It's so buttery and smooth. Mine's like empty, so I have 2 more on my way. Hopefully I'll get some more out of it. But, oh man, I think I'm completely out. Oh man. Okay, that's okay. Because here's the other thing. We also have our brow gel. This stuff is good too. I use it alone a lot of the times, or I use it in conjunction with the brow pencil, the brow liner, sorry. So it just looks like this, and it's like a miniature spoolie. So, and it's really small, so that way you can get into the smaller areas towards the end, and then it's colored so that it fills in your brows too. This is for the girls that maybe just want a more natural look, but you still want your eyebrows to stay in place. So, as you can see, I don't know if you could tell on my camera, but it helps to keep them in place. I used to be the kind of person that just didn't do my eyebrows, but now, now I realized I was crazy. So, now I do my eyebrows every day. If I don't wear any makeup, I still put this on. I just think it makes you look better, okay? So, the next step is you need to prime. If you're going to use eyeshadows, always prime your eyes. So So I'm just using our eyeshadow primer. I know we had it in like a customer kudos a while back, and that's where I got it. But we do sell it now individually. So if you don't have it, you need it, is all I'm saying. I don't use eyeshadow without eyeshadow primer ever. It just helps it to stay on longer. I know, I mean, I don't have greasy eyelids, but I know some people do. That's when you get your eyeshadow like rubbing off by the end of the day, or creasing. Oh, creasing, don't get me started on creasing. It looks awful. And you can have like the most expensive eyeshadow ever, and it'll crease on you because you didn't prime your eyes. But I just find it easier to blend my eyeshadows if I put on my eye primer and then I put on a powder. So I'm just using the same, our same powder, just the face powder. It's the lightest shade. Again, on my eyelids, just to give it like a powdery finish. So that way when I blend my eyeshadows, they blend easily. So I can't decide if I want to use our second or the third palette. I'm not sure. I think I'll use both. Yeah, I think I'll use both. So I'm going to start out with, what is that color? Determine. This color in Determine. I'm going to start out with that in my crease. You just want to use like a small like blending brush. And so when you're blending it in your crease, you just want to blend it towards the outside right here. And once you feel like all of your product has been left here, is when you want to sweep it to the inner corner. So you want to carve out your crease. So if you don't have much of a crease, this is going to make you look like you have one. So let's do the next eye. These eyeshadows are so pigmented and they're so easy to use. Okay, so on the second palette, I'm going to be using the shade Honorable. It's really just like Determined, except for it's a shade darker, which is good because when you're doing your crease, you want to build it up. You don't want to just layer on one dark shade. If you're going to be doing a semi-smoky eye, you want to have dimension to your eye, so you want to layer on a few shades to get the desired look you want. You don't want to just put one on because that's when it gets messy. Okay, so put this one in a little bit. The trick to a good semi-smoky eye, I do this every day, this is my everyday look, is to blend, 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 blend. Don't stop blending. Blend till your arms hurt. Okay, so now I'm going to be using this shade Tickled. It's like this mauve pink color. It's so pretty. I'm just going to put that over the shadows that I just did in my crease, just to give it more of like a warm color. Okay, so next, I'm going to go ahead and bring this down to my under eye. So basically, the mistake a lot of people make when they're doing their makeup is when they're doing their eyeshadow, they don't bring it down to the under eye. That's important. you want to balance out your eyes. That's when it kind of looks kind of weird. So you don't want to do a whole lot. You don't want to bring it down to here, but you just want to smudge it down on your lower lash line. So I'm actually going to have to use the mirror on this for that. And I'm just doing everything that I just did. So I'm just doing the shade Indeterminate, just taking it at the very tip, and I'm really just focusing that towards the outer edge. And so the next one, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to take that Honorable shade, take a little bit on the tip. And then, same thing, I'm going to use that Tickled. So the key to when you do it underneath your eyes, so if you do it on your lower lash line, you do not want to take it all the way to your inner corner. That's when it starts to look like messy. You want to just take it to the outer edge, just here, and just blend it towards like the middle, because if you want to leave this part bright and open. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my... you just want to use like a flat brush, okay? And I'm going to grab our rose water spray, and I'm going to wet my brush. You just spray it on the brush. Oh, man, I should have done that on camera, but that's okay. So you just want to spray it on the brush to where it's damp, and I'm going to use the shade Blissful right here. It's like this really pretty champagne gold color. And so what this does is when you wet your brush with the rose water spray, it just helps to like magnify the eyeshadow color. So it's going to look more, I don't really know how to explain it. I mean, shiny. Let's see. And I just pat that on right there. Spray my brush down again. It just intensifies your eyeshadow. See, it's like okay. So what you'll do now is, it's still kind of damp because I did use the rose water spray. So what I'm going to do is, when you do these looks, what the main thing that a lot of people forget is that you need to put a lighter shade on your brow bone. So I'm just going to use the color Smitten. You don't want to put it all over the top of your lid. You just want to put it like right underneath the arch of your brow. And then now that this is set and it's dry, you just want to blend that little area out that you just blend out your crease, or you just put all that in. Sorry, my camera quality is not the best, but I'm trying, so that's really all that matters. So now we're going to do mascara. So I have a really hard time doing this on camera, guys, so I'm not going to guarantee it's the best, but obviously I'm going to be using our 3D Fiberlash Mascara. And the way that I do it is I actually apply my favorite mascara first, and then I apply it. You can apply it either way, just as it is, or with your own mascara first. That's just how I do it, so that's just how I like to do it. So I'm just going to do one coat of my favorite mascara. You can do whatever you could use whichever you like. Do the other eye. Okay. Now, here's the trick for how I apply the 3D Fiberlash Mascara. So you want to let it dry in between each coat. And I leave them open so that I can easily get to the one I want. So this one is the transplanting gel, and this one is the fiber lashes. So here we go. I'm gonna try to do this one on camera, but no guarantees. I'm gonna get this mirror. So basically you just coat your lashes with the gel. Make sure you want to do this, don't let it dry, and then you put on the fibers. I just focus on filling them in the first coat. And then move to the next eye while that's drying. Now the awesome thing about this stuff is that you can build it up. I actually do like 3 layers. I'll explain in a second. So the first layer I just focus from the root to the tip. Now the other eye's dry, so I'm going to go ahead and do that one. Now this layer I really just focus on the tips to make them longer. Same thing with the other eye. And then on the third coat, I just focus on the outer corner, just the top. So you want to make sure you seal everything with the transplanting gel. And then I'm not the neatest at applying this, so sometimes, do you see that? It's like on my eyeshadow. I just take like a fluffy brush and sweep it off. And then for lipstick, I'm going to be using our shade Upscale. Okay, so if you can't tell, mine's broken. So the long story with that is I let it melt on accident in my car. And yeah, that was bad because it completely like comes apart. I still really like it. It's the only reason I keep it. I'm just gonna have to replace it. I'll get a new one, but I let it melt my car and then I used it, so that wasn't good. But it's still really good. It still works. But this is the finished look. Usually, what I do after this is I set my face with the rose spray. The rose is just really, really good for your face. It's really moisturizing. It helps set your makeup, and it smells really good. So I suggest getting it. It's amazing. But yeah, this is the finished look. Let me know what you think in the comments. Bye, guys.